Hi there. So today I am going to talk a little bit about one of the three basic guidelines that I use to run all of my circles, um, and that all participants agree to when they participate in my circles. The three guidelines, tenets, rules, contracts, whatever you want to call them, are confidentiality as as much as we can, being in an online forum, but basically it means that anything that's shared, no one else shares it, with the caveat that I don't own Facebook, and so anything that we put on Facebook, which is where the group gathers together, is Facebook's property, and I have no control over what they do or do not do with that information. So we have confidentiality in so much as the participants and members of the circle don't share anything that is shared within the circle outside. The other is that we don't give advice, and unless it's specifically asked for, and I'll talk more, that's the one I'm going to talk about today. And then the other is we don't compare experiences, and I'm going to talk about that tomorrow. So this idea of not giving advice, it is part of our culture that we fix things. It's particularly on women to fix things. However, I think most of us know many wonderful, amazing men who also just want to fix stuff. If you have a complaint or a problem, or are upset about something, and you share that with another person, often, more often than not, they will jump in and tell you all the things that you should do to change whatever the situation is, right? So this need to fix comes from our culture, right? It comes from this idea that the way you are right now, if you're sad, if you're angry, if you're frustrated, whatever the emotion is that isn't happy and everything's great, is bad. That's a bad way to be, right? That's how our culture feels. It's bad, 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 bad. And if you just do this one thing, whatever this thing is, then you'll be all happy and shiny again, right? I think all of us know that, that's not how life works, right? And yet, often we get stuck in this advice giving mode. It's really hard to sit with other people's hard feelings. It's really hard to sit with our own hard feelings, right? I believe that where our long list of shoulds comes from is this idea of advice giving, right? When something goes, quote, wrong in our lives, then I think many of us, I know, I've witnessed, I've been there myself, have this long list of, well, if I just would have done this, or I should have done that, or, right, then things would be different. That's another version of advice giving, right? It's another way of telling someone or telling ourselves that we aren't okay the way we are. So when we give advice and it's not asked for, we are telling a person, it may not be our intention at all, not our conscious intention at all, and yet what we are saying and what we are promoting is that you're not okay the way you are. The way you are right now isn't okay. It's bad, and we need to change it, and we need to fix it. I'm not about fixing. None of my work is about fixing you. I can't fix you. I won't. I won't try. That's not what my work is about at all. The work of all my circles and the work of Awakening Our Woman Line is about learning to love ourselves as we are. It's digging through the layers, it's using the tools, it's figuring shit out, it's developing compassion and empathy, and it's transforming ourselves from a place of needing to fix all the things to allowing the things be the way they are. And the way they are is messy and imperfect and painful sometimes and frustrating and rage instigating, I don't know. But or sad, it can be incredibly sad, right? And we don't need to fix that, because there's nothing wrong with being sad. There is nothing wrong with being angry. There is nothing wrong with being messy or having a messy life or not having everything all lined up and perfect and whatever the fuck that even means, right? I mean, who knows what that means? I don't know what that means. I have no idea what a perfect life is, because I have yet to be witness to one. I have yet to experience what a perfect life is, like a perfect whole life. And certainly perfect, beautiful, wonderful, amazing moments, right? We've all had those. And life is messy. And when we try to fix that mess for others or even ourselves and not just allow life to be what it is, we're telling ourselves we're not okay. We're telling others they're not okay. We're perpetuating that idea that we're not enough, that we're too much, and we're adding to shame. So that is why I say to advice giving, and why I hope it comes across gently, will redirect advice giving and change it into, we're holding space. We're letting people be angry. We're letting people be sad. We're allowing people to share who they are, what they are, where they are right now. And that can change in 5 minutes, but it's not for us to fix and change, right? It's for that person. That person gets to make that decision. That person, if they want advice, will ask for it. So the no advice giving, right, is part of this holding space. It's part of being present and part of sitting with really uncomfortable feelings. And it's not easy. It's not easy. I've sat in in-person circles. I've held groups. For those of you who don't know, I'm a family grief therapist, counselor, and I work with families where a parent slash partner, spouse, co-parent has died, and I work with those families. I work with the kids from ages 5 all the way to young adults, and then with the surviving partner slash co-parent. So in my in-person circles, in my in-person groups, where we are processing some pretty heavy and uncomfortable feelings in circle, it's very interesting to see the process as people enter the circle, because it's an ever revolving door. So people come and go as they want. There's no like set time for these groups. So there'll be people who have lost a partner 2 years ago, and someone who lost their partner 2 months ago, right? And they're so everybody's at varying places in their process of grieving. And watching the new people come in and seeing them literally squirming when other people are sharing their stories and sharing their process and sharing what's going on. And then watching those new people become more and more comfortable, if they continue to come back, right? Become more and more comfortable with that discomfort is an amazing thing to witness. I've witnessed it in online circles, not in the same physical way, right? I mean, there's something to watching a person literally squirming in their chair and tensing up, and like, I actually, there was one client who covered their ears. They couldn't hear. They could not listen to the other stories, and watching them grow over months. And it doesn't take very long. It takes a few group meetings, and they're able to hear and they're able to feel their own crap, right? Their own pain as they hold space for others. And I've witnessed the same thing online in a different way, right? I've watched women like jump in on what you should do and what you can do, both in circles that I have guided and in others that I've just participated in, not as a facilitator or guide. And in my circles, when I jump in and say, okay, we didn't ask for advice. Let's just hear what they're saying. Let's just let them be where they are. And let's look at what's making us so uncomfortable that we need to give this advice, right? And watching those advice givers grow and be able to hold space is also incredibly amazing. Because as you're able to hold space for others, you are building tolerance within yourself to hold space for yourself. You're able to sit with those uncomfortable stories, those uncomfortable feelings. You can let go of the shame and the judgment and the you're not good enough crap, right? That all of us have. All of us have that, right? If you claim you don't have it, then either you've had a really fucking amazing therapist your whole life, or string of amazing therapists your whole life, or you're not quite being fully truthful with yourself. So, could be either or. I'm not, could be. We all have those feelings, right? Hard feelings are hard. They're uncomfortable, right? We want to fix them. We don't want to feel uncomfortable. It doesn't feel good. Who wants to not feel good? Not many people enjoy not feeling good, right? And yet, part of the process is being okay with that. Is being okay with sometimes we have crappy days. Sometimes we yell too much. Sometimes we get too angry. Sometimes we forget things. Sometimes we miss deadlines. Sometimes we fail our friends. Sometimes we fail our kids. Sometimes we fail our spouses. Sometimes we fail ourselves, right? This is life. This is life, and it's okay. So that's why we don't give advice in my circles, because it's okay. It's okay to be human. It's okay to be flawed. It's okay to be angry. And in Awakening Our Women line, I really think we're going to awaken a lot of anger. There is generations of anger that is built up within us that we are going to tap into and look at and hopefully roar the fuck out of us, right? And not roar the fuck out of us in that, oh, it's gone now, but allowing ourselves to be angry and letting that be okay and letting that be heard, right? Because that's the next level, right? That is the other part of the not advice giving. It's because all of us need to be heard. We need to be seen. How many of us just want someone to sit there and listen? This is why therapy is a thing, right? This is why there's an actual profession for people to sit with other people and let them talk and be seen and be heard and be witnessed. That's what a good therapist does. There's lots of bad therapists out there too. That's what a good coach does, right? And then also does the supporting, right? Both therapists and coach, just different ways of doing it. So, no advice giving. We don't give advice. unless someone asks for it. And that's okay. It's okay to ask for advice. It's okay to say, you know, I got this situation and I don't know what to do. Or I need someone to help me dig into what's my block here? What's going on? Like, why am I not whatever? Right? And that's okay too. Absolutely. And we only give advice when it's asked for. If it's not asked for, we witness. So I'm just over 15 minutes. That is my spiel on why we don't give advice in my circles and why I really hold fast to that. And if you struggle, that's okay too, because that's part of the process. It's okay. It's okay to struggle. It's okay to slip up. There is no shame in that. It's okay. And we'll move through it and we'll find ways and we'll process. Okay, sending love. Tomorrow I am going to talk about, like I said, the other piece of, what was it? Not comparing experiences. Yes, which is another huge part of this. Too much, not enough shames crap. So, sending love. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.